Okay, picture this. What if the entire Cold War wasn't fought behind closed doors with red telephones, but instead played out completely in a Discord group chat? I mean, seriously, no nuclear launch codes, just annoying notification pings and random internet culture. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're deconstructing a hilarious and honestly bizarre phenomenon from the original source titled Chat History. We're going to see exactly how massive superpower conflicts get reduced to short text messages and digital punchlines. It's kind of like watching two incredibly stubborn neighbors argue over a property line, except the stakes literally involve the entire planet. Let's dive into how modern internet culture summarizes decades of really complex history. Right out of the gate, look at this completely absurd quote. I will build a great wall, and I will have Germany pay for that wall. Sound familiar? This is the completely anachronistic, comedic mashup the source throws right at us from the very beginning. Imagine a mid-century world leader typing this exact sentence into a group chat, sitting back and just waiting for someone to react with a laughing emoji. It takes modern political rhetoric and drops it directly onto the Berlin Wall in the mid-20th century. It's a simplified, incredibly funny approach, but it sets the stage perfectly for how this creator uses internet humor to depict the past in a way you won't easily forget. So let's jump right into section 1, decoding the noise, or translating Discord into history. To really get this, you have to look at the chaotic environment of the chat. The original source transcript is absolutely flooded with repeating, automated-sounding words like foreign, thank you, okay, and yes, sir. Now, at first glance, you might think it's just meaningless spam, right? But it actually captures the pure bureaucratic mess of global diplomacy perfectly. Imagine the secret corridors of international relations. They're full of people speaking different languages, simplified here as just foreign, and overflowing with cold, formal pleasantries. This tedious repetition reflects how the massive political machine kept turning with simple robotic words, while the world was literally standing on the edge of disaster. Which brings us to section 2, the Berlin Wall mashup and modern memes for historic divides. The chronological framework here masterfully builds the story. We start in the 1960s with the construction of the wall, move smoothly right into the 1970s for the space race docking mission, and then finish up in the 1980s with the wall coming down. This explainer takes long, heavily detailed decades, stuff that would normally fill volumes of history textbooks, and compresses them into a fast-scrolling timeline. It's an absolutely ingenious way to give us the big picture of the era's major milestones without drowning us in tedious details. So, how do we best express the massive geopolitical division of the 1960s? By completely replacing complex speeches about a divided Germany with a simplified modern talking point: Germany pays for the wall. Boom. It wraps up a massive ideological and economic divide into one fast food-style digital joke. And this doesn't diminish the actual historical event. Instead, it translates it into a format that the modern scrolling mind can instantly consume and understand. Moving right along to section 3, docking in the space race, or as I like to call it, the orbital chat room. We're preparing to dock. Okay, get this, just one sentence. Do you know what is truly mind-blowing here? This simple, sparse audio cue summarizes billions of dollars, thousands of brilliant scientists, and literally one of the greatest technological battles in human history. The entire space race between the US and the USSR is boiled down to this extremely short chat log. It acts as a minimalist shorthand, proving just how much historical weight a single text message can carry when placed in the right context. Now, you might be wondering why we can't help but laugh when modern internet slang is used to describe deadly serious historical events. Well, the secret lies in the concept of anachronism. It basically means using modern, completely out-of-place media or language to represent events from a different era. That explains the fun, shocking feeling we get. Seeing Cold War generals act like teenagers arguing in YouTube comment sections creates this glaring contradiction between the severity of the past and the absolute absurdity of the present. It makes it impossible to look away. Let's pivot to section 4, standoffs and viral memes, exploring geopolitics through internet culture. We have a stark, honestly hilarious comparison right here. On one side, a famous quote from a viral internet argument. "You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy." On the other side, the reality of intense, highly dangerous Cold War posturing. Imagine world leaders during the absolute peak of the Cuban Missile Crisis, deciding not to send diplomatic envoys, but instead just sending this audio meme to each other to establish dominance. No way, right? But this kind of humor strips the sheer terror away from history, turning tense brinkmanship into a comedic lesson that is way easier to digest. Yet right alongside all these viral memes and jokes, we suddenly get these really pale, mundane responses. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The creator never lets us forget the underlying reality. These simple, obedient replies in the chat remind us of the strict, massive military hierarchies that were actually dictating these global conflicts. Behind every intense international standoff, there were thousands of individuals simply following orders with brief, quiet words just like this. It's a smart reminder that even in a chaotic virtual group chat, there's always someone giving the orders and someone silently obeying them. Which leads us into our final act, Section 5, Tearing Down the Wall and the Discord Disconnect. The whole narrative arc finally wraps up with teared down this wall. Notice even the slight grammatical error there? Tiered instead of torn. Honestly, that flaw adds the absolute perfect touch of unedited internet spontaneity and fast typing culture. It isn't some massive, official political announcement accompanied by fireworks. It acts entirely as the chat's historical sign-off. The wall falls, the server goes quiet, and it's simply time to log out and close the app. So what does this all mean for us today? It leaves us facing a fundamental and provocative question. Does turning history into fast memes and group chats actually help us remember it, or does it distort it? When we digest complex global conflicts through sarcastic Discord simulations, are we democratizing knowledge so everyone can grasp it in a fun way, or are we stripping these profound events of the serious lessons we really need to learn? The internet clearly possesses immense power to reshape our understanding of the past. Think about that the next time you laugh at a historical meme. You might just find an entire era of human history hiding right beneath the joke. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.